against time. Grand Am road racing. It's synonymous with excitement.
It's the closest road racing by far and away on four wheels.
I've never had as much fun as I'm having racing the Daytona prototypes.
You never know who's going to win.
The battles are intense, the rivalries are intense.
The driver gets all the glory, that's who gets the checkered flag, but it is so much of a team sport.
It's a fight to the end, and it's exciting racing to watch.
In 2011, the first race of the International Motorsports season begins at one of the most famous tracks in the world.
What is the experience like winning at Daytona?
It's the most important race of the season. It's the Super Bowl of the series.
24 at Daytona. To drive in this race, on such hallowed ground, that's something to be cherished.
Daytona is a magical place. I'm really blessed. I'm one of the lucky guys to be able to come and race at this very special place.
Driving at Daytona is obviously in itself is a phenomenal experience, just the high bankings and so on, which we never get to experience anywhere else. You know you're in a pretty special place.
You have a motorsports hero. He's been at Daytona. He's won at Daytona. It's a special place for me. Some of our greatest challenges and our biggest successes have come at that particular venue.
Daytona is very special for all of us in sports car racing, and it's one of the things on the bucket list that you want to check off as a driver that you've got.
The winning team of a Rolex 24 will run roughly 700 laps. The car will be pitted nearly 24 times, with driver changes occurring about every 3 hours. The course is a combination of the high-banked NASCAR oval, a 5-turn infield loop, and a backstretch chicane known as the bus stop. Let the men who navigate this circuit for 24 hours take you through one lap.
So you're going to cross over the start-finish line, and you already have your eyes up looking into corner one.
I would say one of the most difficult corners in the entire series.
That seems like that's where all hell usually breaks loose.
Well, the biggest trick is getting off of the banking at 170 miles an hour and into turn one, taking off 100 miles an hour.
You've got a kind of funneling effect where you've got these 3 lanes going down essentially into one lane.
Drive it in deep and make sure that you haven't overdriven to where you miss the inside of the corner.
You realize how slippery it is. Especially when it's cold. If you're on fresh tires, it can be really, really slippery, easy to spin.
Power it out. Now you have a bit of a short straight.
I love the kink in between the 2 horseshoes.
It's a drag race to the kink.
It's a man's corner.
It's sort of manly to get through there flat, but it doesn't really get you much. But you get bragging rights.
When you catch traffic, the closing speed between the DPs and the GTs is always pretty big there, so there tends to be some contact there now and then.
And then right away down braking into another hairpin corner, down to first gear again, into the inside curb, and you know, same thing as last one, wait for it, you're always waiting on the front end in Daytona.
When you get to turn 6, you're not really going super fast, but it's always a challenge to stop there for some reason. The guys lock up easily there, and it seems to camber off. When you drive off, it's like the car completely falls over.
It's just a real funny, awkward line, and you have to get to the power early there or you're going to pay for it.
It leads onto the longest straightaway, onto the back straightaway through the banking, so you got to make sure you get a very good exit.
Then you're onto the banking, and the banking is really a straight for us. We're flat out the whole way through.
You're sitting there behind the wheel and nothing's really happening. It's very easy to lose focus, but at the same time, you're doing 165, 170 miles an hour, and you've got the prototypes flying by on both sides. You have to keep your attention up, even though you spend 25 seconds with your foot flat on the gas, holding the steering wheel completely straight, doing nothing except just waiting for the braking zone.
And you come into the bus stop, which is my favorite corner. It's the fastest corner there.
Wilkins on the outside. It's a braking duel into the bus stop.
That transition in braking, it's awkward.
The brakes don't always stay the same. They get worse, and you get a long pedal there, so you see cars going off there all the time.
Hopefully you're not locking up any front tires, and you just kind of throw in the car at about 120 miles per hour and then catch the rear end, turn it back to the right because you get to go back onto the straightaway again.
And then you're back all the way up to top speed, near terminal velocity, just near 200 miles an hour again.
But there's nothing like
Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Series. 2 classes, 1 race. See it on Speed, Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific.
Around the world will tune in to watch the 2011 Rolex 24, featuring an international field of champion drivers, masters of racing in all forms. This group of drivers takes its place among a long list of racing's best who have challenged Daytona.
The who's who of motorsports has competed in the 24 Hours of Daytona. You've got your stalwarts in the sport, Mario Andretti, AJ Foyt, Parnelli Jones, all these drivers that have been out there. When you drive into Daytona, you feel that, you feel their presence because the list of drivers it's unmatched.
You get IndyCar drivers, you get stock car drivers, you get motorcycle racers, you get guys from across the globe making the trip to Florida to try and win the Rolex at Daytona.
It has the best group of drivers of any race in the world. So, I mean, you go around, you see your heroes from so many different disciplines. I don't think there's a drivers meeting like that anywhere in the world that has that many great drivers and past champions.
I'm so excited to run the race and look forward to the years to come. And hopefully I can be on that top box one day.
It's just a different discipline, I would say, but they're bloody hard. Any 12, 24-hour race, it's hard work. The regulars in the Grand Am Series are very, very good drivers, and these cars are bloody tough to beat. Guys I haven't raced against in years, and I see them once a year at Daytona. That's kind of fun.
Daytona International Speedway. With nearly 50 years of road racing history, it has become one of the most revered venues in all motorsports. Since the 60s, the greatest names in racing have converged on Daytona.
Daytona is special, and everybody's looking at that race, who's going to win that race. You can be a big star.
Rolling into Daytona, especially for the 24, you get a special vibe, a special energy from that race, and it really, it's the race everyone wants to win.
That is one of the big endurance races in the world. It's a very, very big accomplishment, and it's hard to do. It's a pretty elite group of guys that have won that race.
After taking the green flag in mid-afternoon, lights begin to illuminate the 31-degree banking, and the element of visibility enters into the racing equation. Prototypes and GTs race deep into the Daytona night.
Night racing is my absolute favorite time. It's where the dirty work gets done, and it's where the battles really, really go on, and it's where the intensity really picks up.
Oh, this is getting dicey down there. Very close to contact and on very high speed.
The most interesting part is, waking up in the motorhome at 2 a.m. and going to jump on a race car at 170 miles an hour. It's like, wait a minute, this is a little different than what happens on a daily basis.
During the night, usually that's where most accidents happen. The track is cold, the tires are cold, drivers are tired, so it's very easy to do a mistake. Just go through the night without any problems. It's a big challenge.
Those drivers typically that I'm in at sunset and sunrise. It seems like those last moments before you see the light of day, it's always kind of the toughest right in that period. Then when you see sunrise, now you start feeling the end of the race. You're starting to sense of where you're at, what you're doing, what you have to do, where the end of the race is, really start laying out how you want to push things to the checkered flag.
Battling through night and traffic at high speeds, in tight turns, and long straights. Exposed to ever-changing conditions, the 24 hours at Daytona are exhausting.
Races I've ever raced in the world where just finishing gives you this sense of gratification, like, wow, I really did something. Not even if you win, if you just finish.
Monday after the race is the worst day you can have in the entire year, because you feel so bad and tired and pain everywhere. It's really, really difficult and takes a long time. It's like you've been very sick for a very long time, and you kind of recover it.
If you put in the car at 10 or 11 at night, I'm good to run until like 1 or 2 in the morning. And if you wake me up from 5 in the morning, I'm good to drive, yeah? But that's in between 2 and 5 in the morning. I did it, I think, the first year, and it's just miserable.
After lap, they will refine their setup and define their strategy.
It gives you confidence to carry a bit of speed.
Adding an extra layer to the plans is the newly repaved oval at Daytona International Speedway, only the second repaving in the track's history. 50,000 tons of asphalt have been laid around the NASCAR oval, covering nearly 1.5 million square feet.
It was awesome before. It's only gonna get better. It's probably gonna be a lot smoother and just easier on the chassis.
it should become a really, really even closer race than it's been in the past. A lot more overtaking, lead changes, which will make it interesting. Now that it should be smooth, it should make the racing even that much better and more exciting.
The Rolex 24 will be the first major race on the surface, providing more intrigue to an already fascinating spectacle. 2011.
I know the guys around me can do it. It's a question if I can hold up my side of it.
We're coming at 2011 with Action Express with a Porsche V8, which won it last year. So I think we have a great shot at it.
It's time to take the next step and you know, at least go for a podium or a win. To be the winner at the end would be unbeatable. I don't think you can get a better feeling than that.
The pain